Please show your support by checking out these events.
You asked me what I went through on that road through hell that brought me back to you. I told you war can change a man. It broke your heart, but you tried to understand. You wish you were there for me, but baby, can't you see that you were there? In that picture in my pocket, I carried everywhere. Yeah, you were there. On those burning battlefields and in my prayers. Yeah, you were there. When the desert moon began to rise, if I could find a quiet moment in the fight, I'd read your letters, every one of them. And they gave me hope I'd kiss your lips again. You wish you were there for me, but baby, can't you see that you were there? In that picture in my pocket, I carried everywhere. Yeah, you were there. On those burning battlefields and in my prayers. Yeah, you were there. And I know you fight battles of your own, and there are days that you struggle to stay strong. But I'm here for you, 'cause you were there. And in the night you're close to me. You pull me back when my dreams take me to dark places over there. And I thank God that you were there. Yeah, you were there. You were there.
T-minus 1 minute. T-minus 50 seconds. T-minus 40 seconds. T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 0.
Hi, my name is Doug. I'm the president of Guardians of the Purple Heart, and we are a 501c3 approved nonprofit organization based here in southeastern Connecticut that specializes in obtaining items or services for Connecticut combat wounded veterans that aren't being met by other organizations like the VA. So what we like to think is where the VA or these other establishments have to leave off because of their corporate red tape and limitations, we can come in behind them and fulfill these needs by reaching out to the community, working with our vast network of supporters, and just coming together as a whole and supporting these Purple Heart recipients and improving their overall quality of life. A lot of people ask us, how do they get involved and how do they join in on the fun with us? A lot of things you could do. Follow us on Facebook, #1, Instagram, Twitter. Go to our website at gotph.org. You can send donations, send us a message. Spread the word of what we're doing. All the Connecticut Purple Heart recipients, we are out there trying to make a difference in their lives. So please give us a hand and join in on the fun.
Hey, this is Texas singer-songwriter Sergeant Scotty Frazier, proud to have served in the United States Marine Corps and now proud to serve with music. I am honored to be interviewed by and partner with Fubar Studio, the best in military and veteran supporting podcasts. Check them out, and thank you for your service for our American heroes. Also check out scottyfrazier.com for more of my music, and check us out on Spotify, Amazon, and where all good things are streaming. Semper Fi, rock and roll.
Bring your appetite down to Big Belly Cafe, 140 Gore Street, Webster, Mass. for curbside, takeout, and indoor seating. Visit bigbellycafe.com to view their hours, menu, and order online. For reservations, please call ahead at 508-949-2433. Follow Big Belly Cafe on Facebook for weekly and daily specials. And remember, all veterans receive a discount for their recognition of service. Big Belly Cafe. Reedy's Archery, located in Middleborough, Mass. at 121 Wood Street, has been a staple in the area since 1993 and has become the one-stop pro shop for competitive target archers and bow hunters from New England. Reedy's is open Monday through Thursday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 4 p.m. Make sure to visit reedysarchery.com and follow them on Facebook to keep up with upcoming events. Reedy's Archery, dedicated to the archer. Wolf Aviation Network is the only flight school in the area utilizing the Airwolf Simulator AATD and the specialized Part 61 training program designed to save students money while increasing safety and efficiency. Creating safe pilots is our first priority. Our flight sim is the perfect training device. It is designed to prepare students adequately before taking flight in our aircraft. Fly with us and save money. Wolf Aviation. Reserve your spot at 413-563-1929 and visit wolfaviationnetwork.com.
This is what we train for, every day.
We just received
received new intel that there's an enemy presence at the airstrip compound.
All those years. When you're the first to arrive, it's not enough to be ready. You have to be relentless. It's our job to control the ground and the sky, wherever they may meet, even behind enemy lines. They call us one-man air traffic control towers, but we're more than that.
Ivy Lima Charlie, break. Airfield is stable. You are clear to land.
We turn hell into an airstrip. And clear the way for others to follow.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fubar Studios. I'm your host, Doug, and today we've got a special guest with us today. We've got Malachi here with us, but before we get over to him and get this thing going, I want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors out there. Everybody from our racing teams down to the businesses, corporations, stuff like that. Derek Roby, number 27, which is DDR Motorsports. We've got Doug Vine, which is another Pro 4 modified racing. We've got David Collin. I'm going to butcher his last name, but David, I apologize. We've got Junior with car number 29 out of South Boston. We also got Chris Walsh, who does their sports car kind of racing. We've got Artie, who does drifting, and we just picked up another one, but we can't release that information. It is top secret until it definitely takes off. But out to our rest of our sponsors, I want to give a big shout out to them, because without them we wouldn't be able to do our track day for veterans. And so big shout out to Larry's Landscape Supplies out in Charlton, Mass. We've got Reed's Archery down in Middleborough. We also have Harbor Freight Corporation, who donated stuff. We've got Cornerstone Bank that has made a big generous donation. We also have the Veteran Development Corporation, who has donated a lot of stuff. And again, without these guys, it's definitely not going to be not possible. Wolf Aviation. We have New England Blue Collar Printing, who does all of our printing for our DTF transfers for the shirts. We also have Jimmy's Pizza, Dudley House of Pizza. The guy, Ralphie, is a great individual, so if you stop by, tell Ralph I sent you, and he'll get you hooked up. He'll probably just ask you for whatever cash you have in your pocket for the pizza, or whatever it is you ordered. Other than that, I want to definitely get it going, and we'll take it off. And Malachi, I'm going to pass it off to you, and just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
What's up, buddy? My name is Malachias Gaskin. I am a 17-year Army veteran. I did 2 tours in Iraq. One was a combat tour, one was a support tour. I was an Army medic, I was an infantryman, and I was a on-the-job training vocalist for the Army band. So I did 3 different career paths in the military while I was there. I spent 9 years in the Indiana Army National Guard, Charlie Company, 1st of the 293rd. And then I spent 8 years active duty. Some of that, all of it was with the 3rd Infantry Division out of Fort Stewart. I did a little bit with 2nd Brigade 26 BSB, and then I was with the Army Band with the division headquarters.
Wow.
Originally born and raised Fort Wayne, Indiana. Spent my whole life there until I was 30 when my dad passed away. We ended up homeless. A lot of things. My wife and I decided that, after all that, we decided it was time to just go back in the Army. We left, ended up in Georgia, and then I retired to Middle Tennessee, about an hour south of Nashville.
Nice. You ever have you ever made it over to Crane, Indiana? I think it's a naval base over there. It's ammunition.
I've not even heard of it. Yeah.
It's like an ammo dump. Not gonna get much.
A Marine depot.
Yeah.
There was a Marine ammo depot that was in New Haven.
Yeah.
And then there was some stuff down in southern Indiana, but farther, Fort Wayne's up in like that.
Yeah.
Upper right hand, kind of like we call it the armpit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like there's a whole ton of state.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
This was like a few hours. It was probably about 3 hours north of Bluegrass, Kentucky. But yeah, that was.
It was probably a good 4 to 5 hours for me then.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I was stationed out there for a little bit.
Okay.
It's not much out there. Oh, let's see. And as we're speaking, this is what I love. Let's see. Let me exit full screen. Oh, you gotta love technology.
It's a great thing, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's like I have it all connected, and it goes a little something like this.
Right. It always goes sideways.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, so I did. My first deployment was both deployments were to Iraq. The first one was for 15 months during the surge.
Yeah.
And then I came home for about 9 months. We went back to Iraq with division headquarters with the band, and we were there for 12. And then about 4 days before we were supposed to get on the plane to come home, we get a hey, we're not ready. We need another 30 days. And so we got extended 30 days. So we came home after 30.
What the hell is... Hold on, sorry, one more moment.
You're good.
Because now it's, it has everything. There we go. One more moment. This thing is killing me, like... Because it's going to show it. Let's see. Oh. There we go. And... Come on. Yeah, because now it won't let me... Oh, there it is. Sorry. Alright. So, we'll start back over from the question of Crane, Indiana, and
okay.
We'll pretty much boom. So yeah, so you were pretty much 4 hours away from Crane, Indiana. So
about
give or take.
Roughly 4 to 5 hours. Yep.
Yeah.
Because, Indiana's that long. It's this way. Right?
Yeah.
I'm up here. It's down.
It's like it's just down. It's more. It was like I want to say it was probably like again because Bluegrass, Kentucky isn't that far. Well, about 2 to 3 hours, give or take. But it was down towards I would say, a quarter way up. from that. So, and then from the bottom. But you know, but I did 9 years, 11 months, 28 days. Nobody's counting, but I did mine. I did a little bit like you did. I did National Guard first, and then I did active, and then I got into active duty reservist as an AGR.
The AGR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that was what my little bit, but so yeah, so little bit. So you did as a when you were pretty much like a combat medic type deal.
So I first enlisted as a medic. In '94, and then I was a medic from '94 to '97. And then in '97 I reclassed 11 Bravo infantry.
Yeah.
And I did that until '02, and then I got offered a platoon sergeant position with the Med Support Battalion. And so I took my last year in the National Guard. I was a platoon sergeant in a medical company again. Because in the Guard, once you have multiple MOSs, you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know? And they don't look for, that's the thing, is they don't look for people just in the only, you know what I mean? Like if you have a secondary MOS in something and they need a slot filled, they'll ask you to take it.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then I spent a year down there as a platoon sergeant, and then I got out and I tried my, tried my hand at being a rock star and doing all the crazy guy stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I had I was in the Guard because we had a family business. We were landscapers, and then we had, we owned a restaurant, and we owned a used furniture store, and we owned a lawn and garden store, a janitorial company, and all that.
Wow.
And, we had that from when I was 10 years old on. And my dad passed away in 2004. He had his second massive heart attack, and it took him. And when he died, he had everything set up where everything was in his name.
Yeah.
So when he died, the banks kind of came in and said, "Hey, there's no succession plan in the will. There's none of this, none of that. So we're just going to take it all." And so I ended up without my career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was out of the Guard. I was trying to be a rock star, but I had this guarantee. Like I was the vice president of operations for our company, and I lost all that. So everything I had worked for 20 years, was gone.
Wow.
And so we ended up homeless a couple months later, and then I had a wife and 3 kids, and after about a year of couch surfing and sleeping on people's floors and stuff like that, I looked at my wife and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like I know 3 things. I know landscaping, military, and music. I don't want to cut grass for another ungrateful person ever again.
Yeah.
Music, I love it. As much as I love music, it doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
So I think we need to talk about the military. This is 06 or 05, 2005, and we're at war. We're in Afghanistan, we're in Iraq, and she was like, well, what are the odds of you getting deployed? I'm like, well, I'm a medic, so it's pretty high. But there's also a good chance I could end up at a school, or I could end up at a hospital or something like that too.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And so, of course, I ended up on the line with the combat brigade. I was with the 3rd Infantry Division out of Fort Stewart, and then, that's at that point, that's, Iraq, and then that's the fast track to the desert,
Yeah.
So I ended up in Iraq for 15 months for the surge, and then I came home for 9 months. And while I was in Iraq, I got, I was lucky that I got the opportunity to audition for the Army band while I was there.
Yeah.
And I was accepted. And so I finished my deployment as a medic and as an infantryman because they used me in both my MOSs. Came home, went to the band. 9 months later, I was on a plane back to Iraq. And it was weird because I landed, we touched ground, and I was like, man, I feel like I just left.
Yeah.
I haven't been gone that long, man.
Yeah.
And then I spent 13 months in Iraq with the Army band. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like I did a combat deployment and I did a support deployment.
Yeah.
My first deployment, I carried a double combat load. I had 420 rounds, and then my second deployment, I carried a 30-round magazine that I had to count every weekend with my leadership to make sure I didn't lose any of it.
Wow.
I don't think I fired a round the entire 13 months, unless I take it back. I fired 40 rounds because I went to the range qualification for promotion board while I was in the theater. But then after that, like other than that, like I never chambered a round. So.
Yeah. Wow. And now
He's medically retired.
And now, I mean, it's you're doing your thing. You're back to doing some music and stuff like we were just talking. Tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing this coming up here this shortly.
August 3rd, we're playing. We're doing a show in Lebanon, Tennessee, which is spelled Lebanon, but it's pronounced Lebanon, Tennessee, here in Tennessee. But it's called Hero Stock. It's a foundation. It was started by a guy named Jason Steiner out of Nebraska, and he's coming to Tennessee. And it's crazy. Let me pull the flyer up. But it's Scotty Hastings. It's Sal Gonzalez. It's me. There's just a ton of people.
Yeah.
That are playing in this thing, and it's like a lot of who's who of veteran musicians,
Yeah.
Just like, let me pull this flyer up. And here we go. Scotty Hastings, Shannon Book, who was a Navy corpsman, Mike Ponder, Rachel Harvey Hill, me, Mike Corrado, Sal Gonzalez, Chris Turner. There's a band coming in that I don't remember the name of it, and I think there's a couple other. Derek Stoner's going to be playing. It's just big, phenomenal musicians, just absolutely amazing people. Scotty Hastings is on fire right now. He's got a couple of music videos out. He's got a brand new album. He's signed with Black River Entertainment out of Nashville. He's just killing it.
Yeah.
He's a Purple Heart recipient. He was wounded in Afghanistan.
Yep.
Just a great dude. And I get to share the stage with all of them, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And that's what is amazing is, with some of these that the music world is, record labels are picking up, veterans who, that can perform. It's nice that it's happening. It's not saying that it's never happened before. I mean, look, come on, Elvis Presley to Johnny Cash, Morgan Wallace, not Morgan Wallace, is it Morgan Wallace? Yeah, not more. The other one I was thinking Morgan. What was his name? There's another guy. Craig Morgan. Not Morgan Wallace.
He's actually active. He went back in the Army Reserves right now.
Yeah, and I think he's an officer now this round.
He's
Yeah.
in the Army. I think he's with the Army Special Bands or the Army Band.
Yeah.
Reserves.
Yeah. Which is really good. It's been there, but it's nice to see that it's still continuing and it's even picking up even more.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll tell you, guys that I've gone over with and gone to the theater, it's like they bring their guitars. They play. That's the music we listen to, and they're playing the music that we enjoyed, back home. So it's always nice to see that now it's continuing. And as we're sitting here today, what's one of your favorite songs that you like to play and just jam to?
Well, so it's kind of cool. I wrote a song with a buddy of mine. I'll play it for you. It's weird because it's taken me to a different level of music when it comes to how it was received, right?
Yeah.
So I met this guy when I retired from the Army. His name is JT Cooper. He was in Somalia during Black Hawk Down. He was with the 10th Mountain Division with the QRF that went in and got the Rangers out. And he's a phenomenal writer. He's a storyteller. He's amazing.
Yeah.
And I had been out of the Army for about a couple years, and I was working with the court system as in recovery stuff, and I just was not happy where I was in life, and I just I reached out to JT, and I hadn't written for a while. The military has a tendency, it can take a lot of fun out of the things that you enjoyed.
Yeah.
And when I joined the Army band, as great as great as the job was, it kind of took the joy out of what I was doing from it. And so when I got to Tennessee, I had kind of quit music and given up on it. And I was, for now, it's been like 32 years I've been a vocalist, and like for the last 18 months I've been learning to play guitar.
Yeah.
And JT and I sat down, and I was like, hey, I want to write a song about all the different things that I have going on with my book and my nonprofit and just my story and all of it. And he was like, all right, let's do it, man. And we sat down, we got together. It was literally on a Saturday. We got together, and within an hour and a half we were done. And we went out to eat, and then we had a cheeseburger. And then about 2 weeks later, he calls me and says, hey, on Wednesday, meet at this address. We're gonna go to the studio and record.
Nice.
So we did, and it's really just like this song kind of took on a life of its own. And it's weird because like it's one thing that like when you get up on stage and you start playing one of your songs, right?
Yeah.
And then the crowd knows the words and they're singing along. Like that's an amazing feeling.
Yeah.
And I get that with this song quite a bit, especially in my local market. I get it quite a bit. But then just recently, like I'm a graduate of the Guitars for Vets program. I have a lot of my veteran buddies that follow me that they follow.
Oh, looks like you might have froze there a little bit.
And then sent me a video. So it's like, not only are people singing it with me when I play it, but now someone's covering it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the coolest freaking feeling ever. So this song is about me finding my new journey, my new path. It's about all of us finding kind of a holistic way to kind of deal with our trauma. And for me, that was what I call it's my garden. And so my book is called A Warrior's Garden. My nonprofit is Pioneer's Garden. And this song is called A Warrior's Garden. You might think my tears were weak. I don't give a damn. There are answers that I seek. Make me who I am. Every day the sun comes up, keeps me driving on. The battle did not end for me, 'cause I made it home. There are times my feet are tired, I must find my knees, and I call for resupply. Father, help me please. There are 22 a day, choose not to survive, but I know inside of me something's still alive. In the garden where I lose myself, planting seeds of hope, a new life for myself. In the garden, watered with my tears, for all of those I've lost, all of those not here. In the garden, my warrior garden, my warrior garden. In the soul you can find peace. It just takes some time. When you plant your thoughts of war, helps to clear your mind. In the garden where I lose myself, planting seeds of hope, new life for myself. In the garden, watered with my tears, for all of those I lost, all of those not here. In the garden,
My war, you got it. My war, you got it.
Wow. Wow, dude, that... I gotta give you that. That is definitely absolutely amazing. That...
Thank you.
No, you're welcome. I mean, that's... I'm honored to even have that played right here on our podcast. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, and I hope that definitely takes off, because I'll tell you that it speaks very, very high. The volume of it, it's like it really hits you when you know exactly what you're singing about. You know, us veterans know what it is, and it's definitely
Well, that's
very
one of those
touching.
things, like, I get it when I play, is that a lot of veterans, like, when I play, they go, you know, I feel like it's ours. It feels like it's my story too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's my path. Like, it's like healing that I've looked for. You know what I mean? And it's like, literally, it's what we've all tried. You know what I mean? Because we're so sick of, so many of us, right? We're so sick of just sitting on that couch talking to a therapist and, you know, pouring our heart out, and then, all right, we'll see you next week. Like, well, what do I do between now and then?
Yeah.
Because journaling sucks. Like, for me, that doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's really about, like, I think that, you know, it's my opinion, is the whole mental health facility needs to be completely overhauled. And what they need to do is they need to start taking each individual person into account, going, what are your interests, what are your likes and your dislikes, right? Because then when we find a way to tailor your journey for healing to all that.
Yeah.
And because it's going to be something you're interested in, something you like, you're going to put more effort into it. So.
Yeah. The other thing I think they need to definitely change and overhaul is the whole process of, well, we're going to have med students just see you for 6 months, and then you're going to have to reopen up to someone else that you have no idea. You know, and then it's going to change again in 6 months.
I think that what they need to do is needs to be at the discretion of the veteran. Like it is, like if you go to a civilian doctor, you're not a veteran, it's a regular doctor, right? They ask you, are you okay if you're seeing somebody?
Yeah.
They give you the option. They don't give us that. Like we walk in and like it's a student.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep. No, it is, and unfortunately, I mean, it's I don't know if they really have enough full-time regular doctors to see us, because I can't count on my hands and my toes how many different therapists I've seen. I can't count on my hands and toes how many psychotherapists I've seen, and let alone primary care physicians. It's unbelievable. You know, I give it to the student that goes there and does this, you know, does their their residency there and stuff like that, because they're getting the opportunity to see so much of different things, but the military needs to definitely overhaul that, or say, you know what, just like this whole stuff with everything else, you know, go see your own doctor that you want to go see, because then that will give us the opportunity to stay with the same person, you know, for, you know, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is, you know.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. My transition, like when I left active duty and I came to Tennessee, and I was, you know, I'd been here for like, I had 30 days of transition leave, and so on day 31, I started a job the day after I got here.
Yeah.
And so I told him, I said, hey, on this date, I can't work, I have to pick day, I have to go get registered at the VA, all that stuff. All right, no problem. So that day happened, and I walk into the VA. You know, I already had everything scheduled. I get there, and I have to go in through what's called the OEF clinic, which is where you transition in through.
Yeah.
And I get there, and my doctor sits down with me. He's got a clipboard, and he's already got a list. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? And he was like, well, I was looking at your meds. I was on 24 medications at the time. And he was like, well, I was looking at your meds, and I was thinking we're going to do this. And he turns the clipboard around, and it's a list of 20 different medications that he was swapping.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so first of all, I don't know where you got that list from. I said, because I don't even take half those anymore anyway.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. I'm like, so slow down, guy. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know you yet. Like, we haven't even, I mean, you haven't said, I don't even know your name. We haven't shook hands. That's absolutely nothing. Like, you just walked in like, we're changing meds. Like,
We got
sit down.
We got to have a beer together first, you know. This is the first thing. This is the first thing.
What's going on? And so, but I was just like, dude, like, this is not okay. And we talked a little more, and then he was like, you know, I got to know him a little bit, and he's like, all right. And I was like, well, again, you can change all these meds, man. I'm not taking them.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you mean you're not taking them? I'm like, I'm done with all that crap. But I ended up on, like, because I was having like really bad back pain and stuff like that, and I was on a whole bunch of like anti-inflammatories, and he's like, well, I'm gonna put you on gabapentin.
Yeah.
So I ended up on like 2,700 milligrams of gabapentin a day, which is a really high amount for my height and body weight. And it made it worse, and so I stopped taking it after about a month. It's like I just can't do it. It's not happening. But that transition, like getting used to the VA, like, oh my gosh, that was nuts. And then learning how to talk to people again, because you know I can talk to soldiers a certain way. I took a job in corporate America when I got out, and I was working for this guy. He was amazing. He was a really great guy. And he was very, very patient with me. But he hired me to be his office manager. Basically, I'm running his company. Right, he's doing a couple million a year in revenue, and they're selling like identity theft protection stuff to banks, and they're selling credit card processing to banks.
Yeah.
And he hired me to run his company, so that he could go do other stuff, which was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Great guy. And we had our first, you know. Well, it started with I had an 8-hour job interview, which was me interviewing with him and then every one of his department heads.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was going on. It was the weirdest thing that had ever happened. I'd never done a job interview like that before. And then I went home, and the next day I come back and he made me a job offer.
Yeah.
And so I started that following Monday. And then we had our first meeting, our first weekly evening, right? And we're sitting there at the table, and he was like, hey, we're going to do this new promotion. We're going to do this and that and whatnot and all the things. And I don't remember all of it at this point, but I was like, I'm sitting here listening to him go on about what he wanted to do. And I thought to myself, I'm listening to him as a customer, right? Like, how would I, as a bank customer, how would I want that? And I'm listening to everything he says. I'm like, no, we're not going to do it. That's kind of stupid. Like, I think we should do it this way. And I kind of just like, I chewed it up and changed it on him right there in the meeting. And he was like, all right, I like it. That's a great idea. Let's go ahead and put that in a memorandum and send that to me today, and we'll go ahead and get everything laid out. And I'm like, all right, cool. And so the meeting got over, and he's like, hey, Malachias, can you stick around for a minute? I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so we closed the door, and he turns around, and he goes, you can't call me stupid in front of everybody. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't call you stupid. He's like, you said my idea was stupid. I'm like, that was stupid. You're not stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you're making millions of dollars a year. Like, and he sat back and he looked at me and he goes, hey, wait a minute. He goes, when you were in the Army, if you had somebody that was above you and they said they wanted you to do this, I'm like, I would tell them I thought that was stupid. And they understood that it wasn't them, that it was that.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, so we have a communication difference here. And so he taught me how to communicate with civilians. Because I didn't know. Like, I didn't know there was a difference at that point. I kind of got confused the stuff out of me. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, that's weird. And so he worked with me for about a year, and then my disability rating went from 80 to 100%. And I got back paid for the whole year. And then my CRSC, my combat-related special compensation, was approved, which is basically like a prorated Army retirement.
Yep.
Because I got shortchanged. You know, I was 3 years shy of retirement. So I got that. So I got back paid that for a whole year. At that point, I looked at my wife. I'm like, I'm starting my own landscape company. She's like, all right.
Yep.
And so I did. I started a landscape company, and it blew up. And then we bought our farm. I started going to college, and I bought a farm, and we moved onto our farm. And I graduated from college, and it's been going. Like, my transition was really good because I had a really good support team.
Yeah.
And I think this is where we even. The book that I wrote before I retired, called A Warrior's Garden, right after I retired, and about a year later, my publisher and I sat down and said, let's add a chapter on the transition, because the whole book was about like the different things I was doing for my therapy and for myself and for growth.
Yeah.
He's like, let's add a chapter on transitioning, and so I did. I wrote a chapter on how I transitioned off of medications on organics. I wrote, and that chapter included like having different types of mentorships, right? I think where we struggle is we all end up with a veteran mentor, that one person that we look up to that's, you know, been where we've been, done what we've done, all that, right? But we never think about getting ourselves a civilian mentor that can help us transition into that community as well. And I think where we fail a lot of times as veterans is that we isolate ourselves into our veteran communities, and we don't extend out past that. we stay stuck in that kind of that four-wall area of veteran-only veteran. Forget that we have so much when it comes to leadership, being able to think on our feet, just all those different things that we've been trained to do over the years in the military, whether it's 5 years or whether it's 20, right? I have a hard time seeing, because when things happen around me, I just do it.
Yeah.
I react and I go. And you see a lot of civilians that struggle with that. My job, I'm a crew lead at my job. I'm just kind of chilling and sitting in the background. But it's when things go wrong with our equipment, I'm just in there and I start working on it. And my people look at it and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you know how to fix this. What are you waiting on?
Yeah.
But it really takes that, having that mentorship of that veteran who's already done it.
Yeah.
Right? You want to have a mentor who has successfully transitioned from the military to the civilian sector as a veteran, because that's the other thing is don't ever call yourself a. I struggle in this area with people is that don't ever call yourself a civilian. You're not a civilian. Your definition, you will never be a civilian ever again. You are a veteran because you served in the military. It doesn't matter if you went to combat or not, because there's veterans and there's combat veterans.
Yeah.
Right? But you were a veteran. You wore the uniform, right? You got out, and now you're a veteran. You're not a civilian. You're in the civilian community as a veteran. Yeah. Right? So I don't like. We try to bury our identity, not realizing. You know what I'm saying? Now there's also so much that you can be too much of a veteran.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can isolate yourself by pushing people away too. So you allow your growth. That's how
Yeah.
Any veteran that talks there and you're like, oh, you're stolen valor. Shut up, dude.
Oh, I had that story of someone that said that to me, and I'm like, I said, do you realize who the fuck you're talking to? I'm like, I'm not some famous person or anything, but you're talking to the wrong person, bud. I'm about to slap the stupid out of you. And
when I got out, I started a website called warfighterup.com.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be a collaboration website of where it's everything veteran was going to be listed by state, right? If you're in New York, you just go to New York, you click New York, and you can go through, and every nonprofit, every veteran musician, every veteran restaurant, every veteran business would all be listed.
Yeah.
So that way, if you wanted to spend money with a veteran, you could do it that way, right?
Yeah.
All that. And I launched the website, and when the website launched, I immediately had a guy go to my web server guy and go, do you know who you're working with? This guy might be stolen valor. I'm looking at his stuff that he's listed on here, and it's a bunch of bull crap. To the point where I ended up having, I was really close friends with, I still am really close friends with Boone Cutler, who's the founder of the Spartan Pledge. And I was just hey dude, this is happening. I'm freaking out. I don't know what to do about it. He was like, calm down, hold on. He hooked me up with Anthony Anderson, who is the guy from Stolen Valor. He's the guy that owns that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And so Anthony goes, send me all your paperwork, and then write me a synopsis of your service. And so, boom, there I do it, and I send it back to him, and he sends it back. He's like, yeah, you're vetted. You're vetted. He goes, you're clear. Everything you said is nothing's bullcrap. You're fine.
Yeah.
And so, now I've been vetted by Stolen Valor, right? I'm a legit veteran.
Yeah.
But we eat our own, man. We do. We have so many of us out there that are just we're just looking for that score of I'm going to be famous because I'm going to call this dude out, right?
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Look what happened down. There was two things that I've now heard. One was there was 3 new boots that just came out of Paris Island, and they started to rag on somebody who they thought was Stolen Valor. Lo and behold, it was you got the wrong person. Just because you're in the Marine Corps and you're just fresh out of the boot, it's you're not king shit. I got a news story for you. And then there was another one that
10 foot tall and bulletproof when we graduated. So.
Oh, absolutely. We just went through hell and back. Then there was another one that was a veteran who was coming back, I believe, from St. Louis, and was an older gentleman. And he had his ribbons on his chest. And it wasn't like it was 5 or 20 or 30 ribbons as you would see on like a normal stolen valor. They would have like the whole goddamn whole front chest all done up.
All the valor, yeah.
Yeah, you know, this guy only had like 3 ribbons, and he was a Vietnam veteran, and they pretty much shamed him right in the airport, and it made the news, and it was pretty bad. It was like, you know, these 2 active duty soldiers who did this, there was no repercussion that they went through.
Oh man,
it was like, oh, I hope that they kept it in-house, and they just kept it field grade. Yeah, because that should have made sure that should have happened. But you know, time will tell. But there was no public apology or anything, which the military is not. Yeah, the military is not going to really. I don't think they're going to acknowledge that because they don't want to really get into that. That's all politics. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that I tell you, I've seen it, and it's like, wow. And it's even happened to me. I had a guy literally, since I've been doing podcasting, started to stalk me, and it's like, oh, you're stolen valor, valor. I said, tell me what you want. Do you want my DD-214? Do you want to pull my records? Because anybody can pull my records and see, you know, my time in the service. Yeah, I mean, have at it, you know. It even got bad to even like they tracked me down to my where I work, and my boss's boss, which, because I work for the state, they came to me and they're like, do you know what's going on? And I'm like, I have no idea. And then he was like, does this name ring a bell? And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh man, right?
I'm like, oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. And I gave him the rundown. He's like, yeah. He goes, says, I pulled your file and everything. He goes, says, you know, yeah, he's totally full of bull crap, and we're just gonna move it on. But I just wanted to let you know, just see if you knew anything about it, because they called us. So it happens. I've seen it. It's happened to me, so I totally get it, and it's kind of crappy, but you know, you just roll with the punches, and you know yourself, you know who you are, you know what you did. I don't need to prove anything. You don't need to prove anything. So it's like now it's just like I laugh at some of these things when they try to call out certain people.
The point, I got called out by a dude I served with. Who was there, and I'm like, dude, like, you were there, you were a part, and then I was blown away. Like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, why? What is your deal, man? Like, you weren't even the medic that did it. It was this medic, and I'm like, I don't even know who that guy is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who you're talking about. It was medic so and so, and I'm like, I don't know. He didn't work for me, and I was a senior medic. Like, so I don't know who you're talking about, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy. And then, you know, it's weird because, you know, we all, and the funny thing is, like, we all come to the same place from different backgrounds, for different reasons. Like,
yeah.
You know, the first time I joined the military, like when I joined in the National Guard, like I joined it because out of that desire to do family legacy. I wanted to be a part of this. Like, my dad served, my grandpa served, my great grandpa served, all my uncles served. My favorite uncle, like, he served in Vietnam. He was a tunnel rat in the Marine Corps. Like, he's a VA, right? Like, I love that guy.
Yeah.
And you know, I joined the second time because we were homeless and I needed stability for my family. And, you know, there's a lot of guys that joined. Like, I had guys in my units that were like, why did you join? Like, it was this or jail.
Yeah.
You know, like, it was homelessness or this, or, like, you know, like, I had females that I was a stripper and I didn't know what else to do, so I lied on my application to get in, or, you know what I mean? Like, people, like, we needed something, and we had this common bond of we wanted to be here. Yeah. Not necessarily the Army, but we wanted to be there. You know what I mean? Doing something. And then some people joined out of patriotism and things like that, and you know, because it was like, I ended up, like, the first song on my album that I released a couple of years ago was really about that. It was about that desire to join. That I have to be a part of this. Like, I want to create my legacy or be a part of my family's legacy. And if you're cool, I'd like to play that one for you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Go for it.
It's so this one, like I said, this one's called Legacy. Oh, I guess I gotta turn the tuner off.
Running around on the playground, playing off me guys with all of his friends. Saw the time, sound was mine. Already knows what he wants to be. He wants to grow up and serve his country. All the time, sound is mine. When will it be his time? His turn to hold the line. This is buried in his bones. He can't see it in his future. He knew it so long ago. As fate meets destiny, leaving footprints on his journey. This is his legacy. Running around all the roadblocks, jumping through all the hoops. It's almost time, sound was mine. Oh, it's time and he turned 18. Recruiters coming over to meet his family. It's almost time, sound was mine. When will it be his time? His turn to hold the line. This is buried in his bones. He can't see it in his future. He knew it so long ago. As fate meets destiny, leaving footprints on his journey. This is his legacy. Fate meets destiny, leaving footprints on his journey. This is his legacy. This is buried in his bones. He can't see it in his future. He knew it so long ago. As fate meets destiny, leaving footprints on his journey. This is his legacy.
Nice. That's definitely. I gotta say, I like that one too. That one's. I'm gonna have to get all these and try to start saving them onto my phone. You know, because I can jam out to those.
There's a lot of places you can get the music. You can get my music on. You know, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes, it's on iHeart, it's on all the streaming things.
Okay.
You can directly. And this is where I'm gonna do my little spiel, right? You can support independent artists like myself, artists that are on smaller labels, things like that. We make our money off our album sales, our record sales, and we make our money off our touring and our live shows, right? We don't make money off of streaming at all, right?
Yeah.
We don't make a lot of money off of, there's no money off of radio plays, none of that stuff. So what I try to tell people, if you want to support the music for a veteran, especially a veteran artist, right?
Yeah.
Go to their website, download their music.
Yeah.
Then stream it. And if you never listen to the stuff you downloaded, fine.
Yeah.
And you want to go to iTunes, you want to go to, all these streaming sites, and that's great. So whatever, it's fine. It's an amazing business card, right?
Yeah.
Go to the website, buy the MP3s, and then go stream it. You know what I'm saying? Like do that because that's really where the things happen. But so saying all that, like you can listen to it live for free on all the streaming sites. You can go to my website, which is Malachias Music, MALACHIAS music.com. And there's actually my brand new single that just released, which is called "Not My Father's Son," which is my first foray into Christian hard rock. And then I have another song that we did what's called a soft release. It's not on any streaming site. You can only purchase it from my website. And it's my first foray into country music, and it's called "No Dad of Mine."
Okay.
And I know that's a little similar kind of weird, like it confuses people. So, Not My Father's Son is a Christian hard rock song.
Yeah.
No Dad of Mine is a true story about my desire and who I want to be as a father.
Yeah.
So,
now, the guitar you're playing with,
but it's been a crazy journey.
Yeah. No.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I was just about to ask you, because I'm like, I know I seen it on some of your some of the photos, even the one that looks like I think it's at a gas station.
It's a Dean Mako Welch, and it is the Dave Mustaine signature guitar.
Wow.
Dave Mustaine, of course, from Megadeth. So.
Nice. That must have cost you a nice little penny.
So, funny story. I have been blessed over the last 2 years with my guitar journey. I started out with I had a Dean Dimebag acoustic performer.
Yep.
It's just a solid. It's my blue one that has all the stickers on it. It's in the pictures. My wife bought me that when I came back from Iraq, and I've had that guitar forever, never been able to play. All of a sudden, I decided I'm going to learn to play. I'm tired of waiting, all this stuff. So I picked it up and I just started learning. I got a hold of somebody, said, "Teach me to play my own music." Help me out. So they did. I started learning some of my songs and things like that.
Yeah.
And then I joined and my wife bought me an electric guitar. So then I signed up for Guitars for Vets.
Yeah.
And if you're a veteran and you have not tried everything possible to deal with your trauma, your PTSD, your anxiety, depression, whatever, get up and do it all.
Yeah.
Every program that VA offers, do it. Guitars for Vets is one of them. Right? It's a private organization. It's a nonprofit. They partner with the VA. But I'm telling you, like that thing right there, like springboarded my funds.
Yeah.
And so I sat down with a guitar teacher, and I got 12 lessons, and I got a free guitar with it. I got an Epiphone.
Giving a voice to the voiceless.
And so then I did, because I was putting in so much effort, my wife one night was like, she was like, "I'm really proud of you," and all that kind of stuff. I said, "Look, I'm looking at this guitar." She's like, "What are you looking at?" I don't know. Like, I want something that's going to it's kind of patriotic. I want to find maybe an American flag guitar or whatever. And I went to bed that night. And, I'm upstairs in the bedroom, and she's downstairs, and she started sending me text messages on my phone up. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? And I opened my phone, there's all these guitars. Oh! And then we found this Dean,
Yeah.
Alright. And I was like, oh, I want this one. And she's like, okay. And it was like $340. It was used. And she was like, okay. And so she's like, you're sure this is the one you want? I'm like, yeah, that's the one. So she ordered it.
Yeah.
And it got here, and she bought it, and it was from a company it was a guitar store out of Pennsylvania, and we got it, and I have a guitar tech here that sets up whenever I get a new guitar. I take it to him, and he sets it up, make sure that everything's good.
Yeah.
Out to it, and then the bridge, which is right here.
Yeah.
Right. You can slip a quarter. It was pulling away from the body of the guitar, which means it wasn't going to be good.
Yeah.
And so I got Empire Music. That's what it was. Empire Music out of Pennsylvania. And so I get a hold of Empire Music. I didn't even go through because she bought it through a third party vendor. Through them.
Yeah.
I just went directly to them. I said, hey, my wife bought me a guitar. It came from you. Blah 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 blah. Which one was it? Oh yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. I'm like, yeah, so it's broken. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, so it came, got here, like everything. I took it to my guitar tech. I said, I can send you the picture, but you can slip a quarter up on the bridge.
Yeah.
And he goes, no. Like, he goes, look, if you can send it back, we'll refund your money. I'm like, thanks, man. I gotta find this guitar. And he goes, wait a minute, what? I gotta find this guitar. And he goes, that specific guitar? And I was like, yeah. He's like, why that one specifically? I was like, well, I'm a veteran. I play, patriotic and veteran-focused music right now. I said, and I'd like to have something that kind of just like presents that on the stage or whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, give me a minute. He hangs it up. Now, this is a $1,000 guitar.
Yeah.
Brand new, right? My wife found it for $300.
Wow.
The guy goes, hey, I'm going to go ahead and send you a label. I want you to package that thing back up, send it back to me. The minute the label hits that it was shipped, I'm going to go ahead and send you another one. Oh, all right, cool, right? He sent me a brand new one.
Wow.
Not a scratch, nothing. A brand new $1,000 guitar. He said it's like $899, $900, right? $1,000 guitar. Didn't ask for the bump up in price. Did not ask for the difference. Just
wow. That.
So Empire Music in Pennsylvania If you are in that area and you're looking for musical stuff, go to Empire Music. Tell them that Malachi sent you. I don't make a dime. I don't get any kickbacks whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just let them know that the veteran musician Malachi sent us. They said that you were really good.
And you said it was Empire?
Great guys. Absolutely great. Empire Music out of Pennsylvania.
Okay. I'm looking it up now just to go through it because, yeah, I spent, I think, mine, it's a Fender, but it's like the beginner one of it. I think I spent like $300
Oh, dude,
on it.
I've got a Gibson Les Paul knockoff that Guitars for Vets gave me. I have a Taylor guitar that was given to me by the Taylor Guitar Company. We played an event called the 21 Guitar Salute at Kenny Rogers Farm in Nashville, and Taylor sponsored it, and they gave all the guitar players free guitars as a thank you for being there.
Nice.
One of my veterans here in Columbia, where I live in Tennessee, like he's an Army veteran, like he was just a phenomenal dude. We were both medics, both have EFMVs, all that stuff. And as I was growing on my guitar journey, he was like, "Hey man, if I'm gonna stop by, are you home?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he pulls in the driveway and he goes, "Hey, I want you to take a look at this." And I open it up. It's a $1,200 Martin acoustic.
Wow.
And I was just like, "Dude, that's a gorgeous guitar." And I picked it up and I kind of, screwing around with it or whatever. He goes, "If I gave it to you, would you play it?" I'm like, "What?" He goes, "If I gave you this guitar, how much do you want for it?" And he was like, No. If I gave it to you, would you make music with it?"
Yeah.
Yes. He was like, "It's yours."
Wow.
So in 1 year, I went from an acoustic guitar and an electric guitar that I couldn't play to 3 electrics, 4 acoustics. Wait, is that right? Martin, the Taylor, 2 Deans, and then I have a Dean electric, an Ibanez electric, and a Gibson It's a Gibson Les Paul knockoff style guitar. Oh, and then the Epiphone. So now I have 8. I have 8 guitars.
Wow. A buddy of mine, he has, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's 32 guitars. I think he has like 32.
Yeah, and this is the Epiphone that they gave me.
Oh, wow.
I had everybody that I graduated and all the instructors sign it. I had my family sign it. I went to a couple of my open mic nights for my veterans that I do here.
Wow.
My veterans show up that signed it, and then I took all the strings off and I sprayed it down with some clear coat. I put my Stop 22 suicide prevention sticker on it, and then I love the head style. It's got that gray style.
Yeah, no, that's pretty nice.
And so it's kind of like it's my art guitar. Like I don't take it out, I don't play it. Like this is the one that just sits in my bedroom, and just kind of like it's like a keep going,
Yeah. Now I'm trying to see the one that my buddy he just bought. It's like a it's his custom Telecaster.
Okay.
I guess he spent like I think he said he spent like I think $2,000 to $4,000 on it, but he has like 32, maybe 33 guitars. But him and his buddies, they all hang out at the guitar store and they all just jam away. So, some of the guys I guess he plays with, they play with some of the bigger name, like Alien Ant. One of them played with like Alien Ant Farm.
Oh, dude! So like their Smooth Criminal, like that was the song. Of course, that was the song that everybody. But that was the one that really got me onto them. And then I started listening to their other music, and I'm like, these guys are freaking amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the guys he plays with, and I'm like, dude, this is crazy. So I went down there. I'm like, dude, I can't even hold a tune in a bucket, let alone try to keep up with you guys. I said, I can play A, I can play E minor, E, I can play G, I can play D. I said, I can play these things, but I definitely cannot keep up with you guys. I said, I'm barely, on the app that I use to learn, which is simply guitar. I can play, what was it? There's 2 songs I can play. One was a Bob Marley song, No Worries, No Cry. I think it is, and then it's.
Oh yeah.
The other one was another one. Jeez, I can't even think of the name of it. But I can play it, decently and not have to look down at where my fingers are at. And so I'm like, yeah, I can.
Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was. I don't want that to go off, but what was another one? It was. Was it an AC/DC song, or?
Yeah, a lot of those are just power chords, so they're pretty simple to follow along.
Yeah, but it was nice. It was nice to try to learn these songs, but yeah, I'm not anywhere near where these guys are at. But I go down there with them a couple times. It's down in Malden, Mass. So it's like, yeah, all right.
My son's
yeah.
getting ready to move up there by Foxborough.
Oh, so I'm not that far from Foxborough.
Yeah, my son, he's actually moving up there next week. Him and his wife.
Nice. Yeah, because Foxborough is probably about 40 minutes, if that, from me.
Okay.
Because I mean, you got Foxborough, you got Norfolk, Worcester is like 10 minutes from me. I'm in Dudley.
His wife's family's from.
I live in Dudley, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good times. I enjoy it. I love it. It's beautiful out here. So yeah.
I'll send him your way, man. He's gonna be looking for work, so.
Yeah, send him my way. I'll. There's so many. I'm like a politician. I just stay out of politics. I just work the room, and I know who to talk to, how to talk to them, and stuff like that. It's awesome. But yeah.
All right.
Definitely send them my way anytime. And if you're ever up this way, let me know.
For sure.
Because I definitely would like to, like I told Scotty and Chris, I said, more the merrier up here. I said, feel free. I don't know, have you ever heard of the Saluting Marine, Tim Chambers? He stands out during the Rolling Thunder, but now it's the Rolling Remember. He's a good friend. He's a good friend of mine. And he shares my Dropbox with me because he's always like, I need more space. So I'm like, I got 15 terabytes. I said, just put it on here for you. But yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. But he's going to be doing something big, which I'm in the works helping him because I run my nonprofit. And 100% of the proceeds go straight back to the veterans, and I get them into the races.
Trying to do the dental stuff?
He
was trying to set up a nonprofit to get veterans better dental care.
He was doing something, but he hasn't set up much of a nonprofit yet. I just know he is he's setting up something. Last time I spoke to him was probably 4 or 5 weeks ago. But he was going to try to set something up in like Virginia or something to do a weekend getaway for veterans and Gold Star family members, immediate family members. So I said, let's do it. Let's plan it. I said, I know the property we can go and do it at. The guy that owns it is one of my big sponsors and donors. So I said, he has no problem with it. He has hundreds of acres out in Virginia. So,
right.
So yeah, we're working on something. But I can next time I talk to him, I'll ask him, see if he got any of that set up. But I know he's been very busy lately with finishing his schooling. He's now working for the state of Pennsylvania.
So he and I had the same publisher.
Oh, okay. When he was publishing his book.
Yeah. So we had the same. He was going to do a book on it's a coffee table book, and we had the same publisher.
Yeah. It was. He did. He's doing very well, I'll say, and he's a great guy. Between him and Andy Bigelow. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's another veteran.
Sounds really familiar.
He's another veteran. He was up. He's taken a bunch of veterans back to back to the areas of where they served at in World War II. He's also written 2 books, one called The Rifle, and then the other one's The Rifle 2. You know, he's another good friend of mine. You know, he runs another nonprofit that is in Boston. It's the Boston Wounded Vet Run.
Okay.
All the proceeds, 100% of it, goes straight back to the veterans. And I've known him, almost 11 years now. And you know, he's another great guy. Which I'm trying to get. I'm still trying to schedule him onto this podcast, but he's. Right. I'll tell you, he's between being a father, husband, you know, book writer, traveling. You know, it's crazy, and being a police officer in Boston. Now he's a detective.
Oh, I'm sure he's busy.
Oh yeah, nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do our nonprofit. We have it's called Warfighter Gardens.
Yep.
And what we do is we build therapy gardens for veterans and first responders and Gold Star families to deal with trauma and then to become sustainable. And then what we do is we attach them to a master gardener.
Yep.
That offers them lifetime mentoring on what to grow, how to grow, when to grow. Right. So you can use it as a flower garden, you can do it as a vegetable garden, or whatever. Yep. But every garden we build is unique to that individual. We built if you go to our website, which is just www.awarriorsgarden.com, is everything from my book to our nonprofit to just all the different things. We have I have a list of groups of organizations that offer holistic trauma recovery that we've certified as you know, what we've done. We've sat down with them, we've gone through their books, we've talked to them, make sure where the money's coming from, where it's going, all that.
Yeah.
And then we certify them as a holistic trauma recovery program. And just make sure that they're on the level. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many out there. Like we take and I'll be honest. Like I love the fact that it's 100%. Like with Warfighter Gardens, it's 98% of our money goes back to the veterans and everything else, because we actually have a small overhead. We have to pay for our website, we have to pay for our email address, we have to pay for our domain, and we have to pay for insurance. Yeah. Everything else goes back to the veterans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of every year, if we have a little bit of money left over, we like to go out and buy some presents for our volunteers. We have some permanent volunteers that kind of just show up to every gig that we do when it comes to building. And so we like to just get them some things to say thank you as a way to, you know, kind of give back to them as well, because they're taking and they're all veterans as well. You know what I mean? And they're taking out of their own time. Like I have one guy that like he shows up with his diesel rig and he shows up with his tractor and his, you know, his 22-foot trailer, and we go get all the lumber and and it's just like it's just a great community of people. And we built some gardens in like I think it's 11 or 12 states. I can't remember all the numbers anymore. But it's really just based off the book, you know, because the book was really about me finding that path, and right before I retired, I was you know, the last time I went to therapy, my therapist said, literally looked me in the face. I said, "What am I supposed to do? Because you're not helping." And she's like, "I don't know. Get a dog, start a garden." And I literally lost my shit, dude. Like I cussed her out. I walked out. I went home. I told my wife, my therapist said, "Get a dog." And my wife's like, "You're not getting a dog."
Yeah.
I have 2 dogs now.
I've got one too.
Yep, I have an Australian Shepherd who's my service dog, and I have a blue heeler that works my farm.
Nice.
And so then, but she was like, we were living on post, and she was just like, "Well, what else did your therapist say?" "Start a garden." And my wife was like, "Let's go." And I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Let's go." And we ended up at Lowe's in Hinesville, Georgia, buying lumber, dirt, and seeds, and came home that night and built a 4-foot by 4-foot raised bed garden. Which is I live on a 10-acre farm.
Yeah, I've got my own little farm. I have it's 3 foot by 9 foot raised garden. So I've done that because again it is therapeutic. It's so therapeutic. I can't tell you enough. I take after from my grandparents. They always did gardening. They always had gardens. So
well, it makes sense to me. I was a landscaper for 20 years. You know what I mean? Outside of the military. So it's like hands in the dirt and making things grow. Like I can grow grass on concrete. It doesn't matter. I can grow grass anyway. So growing vegetables made sense. Contact, pH balance, like just all the different things, and it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I need nitrogen, potash, you know, potassium, and I need calcium and I need nitrates and things like that. So it was like, okay, this is crazy, and it just made sense. And then like that first year, I mean, I grew wheat. I lived on post, man.
Yeah.
I grew wheat. You know what I mean? I harvested the wheat head, like I learned how to do it, and then, you know, I went and did, I grew kale, which I'd never had kale before, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
We grew corn, we grew okra, we grew cucumbers, tomatoes. I mean, I grew everything, sweet potatoes. Like I was doing it all. Like I was, nothing was off limits, you know. So, and so it just turned, like I said, that turned into a book because my publisher was like, he was just a buddy at the time, and we had met through a mutual friend, and he was just getting to know my story. I was going through a med board.
Yeah.
I was writing music with some buddies, and it's music that's on my Spotify and it's on my website. There's 2 songs on it. One's called Grind and one's called Freedom. They're heavy, they're like hard rock. But we wrote those, and we were going to go to the studio back then and record them and do all that. And we were going to film a 25, 30-minute documentary about using music as a way to heal and all of that. And so you know, I said, hey, I got to get permission for this. And we filled out all the paperwork through the Public Affairs Office of the Army and all that. And 6 months later, we get this, you know, hey, we need you to come up to the Building 1 and talk to this colonel at PAO. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm on my way, right? And I get it. Now, we're 2 weeks out. Like, they're getting ready to buy plane tickets, and they're coming down to Silver.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to the studio, and we're going to record, you know, this documentary on how we use music as a way to deal with trauma and just all this stuff. He's like, you know, mind you, this guy's super, you can see the excitement on his face. He's like a kid, right? He's so excited. He's a full-bird colonel. And he's like, man, this is amazing. Oh my God, I wish we could let you do it. What? Sir, we've been waiting 6 months for an answer. And he's like, you're in a med radio, like none of you can't do interviews. I'm really sorry, man. I'm like, 6 months, sir. So I'm like, sir, I gotta go, because you know you can't take your phone in that building, you know, Building 1. And so I'm like, I gotta go call them, because they're getting ready to go buy plane tickets. And he's like, go. So I run out to my van, I call the guy, and I'm like, hey dude, I'm sorry, but it's off, the documentary's off, like you gotta cancel everything, don't go buy tickets, I'll call you tomorrow. So I call him the next day, and he was just like, I mean, you need to write a book.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He's like, you need to write a book about just all the different stuff you're doing. And I go, bro, hold up. I have a GED. Okay? Like, I am a sergeant, not a sergeant major. I'm a sergeant in the United States Army. I'm like, no one's going to read this. Dude, I literally wrote a book out of spite to prove to him that it wouldn't go anywhere. Okay? It's now been sold in 7 countries. It's taken me to China, where I actually spoke. The Chinese government paid for my trip where I went over there. This is back in 2016. And I spoke on how to use agriculture as a way to mitigate suicide.
Wow.
They paid for the whole trip for 14 days. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing trip.
I wouldn't doubt it.
My book is taught in like 6 different universities as a form of alternative therapy. It's a required reading for certain curriculum, for like horticultural therapy, things like that. And again, I wrote it out of spite, and I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I was like, well, fine, okay, whatever, dude, I'll write it.
Yeah.
It's 112 pages. And it's just my journey. You know what I mean? Like how I focused on my faith, how I focused on music, how I focused on gardening, how I focused on family-oriented things. You know what I mean? Like how I made sure that my wife understood that she's my hero because she puts up with all my crap. You know what I mean? Like just all these different scenarios and things like that that we tried. And then from that was born. You know, we started a program where we bring veterans and their spouses in, and we do this thing where we help them designate what their trauma is, and what their faith creative physical aspects of life, and then how to use them as coping mechanisms. You know, and it's just gone from there. And I mean, I met Tim through my friend Karen, she's in Virginia now. I don't know what's the name. But I mean, it's just like, it's crazy. Like, it's the way that things are connected. And, you know, our community, as big as our community is, because like, we have one of the largest, you know, veteran communities in the country. We have 21 million veterans in the country.
Yep.
And, like, we all know each other somehow. Like, we're all connected somewhere to someone.
Yep.
We all know some of us all know the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like Tim, I mean, I've never met Tim in person. I've got at least 40, 50 people that I know that have sat down and had dinner with him, and they're like really close. Like Dave Bray, who's a great guitar player, great singer. Like I've got several people that have like sat, like they go to his house and hang out and have dinner, and like we're all connected. Like that, you know, that 7 degrees of kind of bacon, right? Like it's like 3 degrees. We're all, I guarantee you, we're all within 3 degrees of each other. Like crazy.
We all know somebody or somebody, and they know someone else that we may even know. It's like, that's crazy. You know, it's just the way that you know, the way this military veterans know each other. We all welcome each other into each other's homes. You know, it's like, you know, come on in, come and hang out, let's have dinner. You know, I said
when I graduated college, the guy that I served with in the Guard, I was a squad leader, he was a squad leader. Then we both ended up being platoon sergeants in different companies or whatever, but we were in the same platoon together as squad leaders.
Yeah.
And when I graduated college, Roanoke, Indiana, 7.5 hours away, right?
Yeah.
I said, hey man, I'm graduating on Saturday, like a week from this coming Saturday. He's like, I'll be there on Thursday. Grabbed his wife, jumped in his van, and he drove down here and he stayed the week.
Yeah.
Like he was here for my graduation. You know what I mean? And it was just kind of like, and then like I think it was a month later, he's like, hey man, I'm getting married. I'm like, when? He's like, on this date. I'm like, on my way. And I drove up there, and I you know, his house was already full, so I found another Army buddy, and I crashed at his place. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like we all just got together and just hung out. But you know, when the times come, like, we're there for each other, you know? I was in my first deployment to Iraq, I was with a group called Top Flight. What we did, our battalion decided they didn't want to rely on outside agencies or other brigades or other platoons or whatever to provide security for our CLIPs, which is our combat logistic patrols, which is basically convoys.
Yeah.
And so they started our own security platoon where they would just take basically the people that nobody else wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The people that were getting treated like crap or whatever, and go, hey, you're going to be in security platoon. You're going to be in Top Flight. And so we had, I think it was 16 gun trucks, and we had 3 people per truck, and we had 1 medic per squad. But I was set to be the NCOIC of our hospital in Iraq, and we had a guy it was his second deployment, my first deployment. He just made E5. He was a former Air Force guy, and he comes up to me at the Christmas party, like in front of my wife, and he goes, dude, hey man, I just had a conversation with the platoon leader for Top Flight, and like they're gonna bring you over, like they're gonna make you the leader for the medical section. And I looked at him like, what? He's like, yeah, I just talked to her. She's like really, really interested in the fact that you're former. And I'm like, don't worry about it. We'll talk about it when we go home. And then we got home, and I had to explain to her that's our security platoon. They're the ones in the battalion that are actually going out and doing things and all this stuff. And she's like, no, you're not infantry anymore. You're a medic. That was the deal. And I'm like, yeah, I know. 2 weeks later, I'm with Top Flight. I'm the senior medic, and then all of a sudden, I was the only medic.
Yeah.
And then we get to Iraq, and they gave me 2 more medics again. They broke us down into 3 squads, and then my squad got pulled away, and we became the EOD escort team.
Was that out of Fort Stewart?
Yeah. So we ended up our EOD team was actually a Navy team.
When was that, if you can?
07, 08, during the surge. We're at Fob Falcon.
Do you know an EOD technician named Dustin Goforth?
I know that name.
It's a good, he's like a cousin to me.
Okay, I know the name. So, and that's a small community. The EOD community is very small. So
it is, yeah. No.
If you get a chance, you know what you should do. Like, if you get a chance, you should reach out to. They call her Wonder Nubs. She was an EOD tech. She lost both of her arms. Mary.
Oh, I got Wonder Nubs. I'm gonna have to look that up.
She's awesome, dude. Like, she's got a Facebook page called Wonder Nubs. Like, you need to look her up.
Oh, that's gonna be great. But yeah, he ended up passing away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he unfortunately became one of the 22.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's that's one of the other big things that I do is I'm the state coordinator for the Spartan Pledge.
Yep.
A lot of veterans aren't aware of the Spartan Pledge or what it is. Sit up and go forth.
Yep. Mary Wonder Nubs.
Yep. She's awesome, dude. Like, she's one of the greatest. Like, she's hilarious. Amazing sense of humor. She's an avid gamer.
Yep.
Do you remember that movie that they did? It was Ranger Up and Article 15 Clothing did a movie together.
Yeah. Yes.
So she was in that. She was in that, dude. Like, she's amazing. I love her so much. She's just one of the greatest people. Like, she's so, like, she's a great light. She's a great person. Yeah.
Wow.
So, tell you what, I got one more song to me if you're willing.
Yeah.
And then I haven't eaten today, and it's getting late for mine. So
I'm over here eating a strawberry banana shake.
It does not put the strawberry banana shake in my belly though, bud.
No, I know. It put it into mine, and I'm like, I'm content now. But yeah.
All right, so this song it's the most recent release I've done. This was the one I was telling you, it's a soft release that we did on our website. It's not on any streaming. You're not going to hear it anywhere else unless you go buy it from my website. This is the first song I wrote that wasn't military focused, but it's really based on, it's a crazy story. So I found out at 13 years old that I was adopted by my mother. My father was my father, but my mother adopted me.
Yeah.
And I met her when I was 19, and I wish I never had.
Yeah.
The only thing that came good out of that relationship was the fact that I have 6 siblings.
Yeah.
And out of all 6 siblings, 2 of them are worth a damn. I have a relationship with 2 of them.
Yeah.
But my birth mother, it's like nothing was ever good enough, and it was like everything was all about her, and she's just kind of crazy. And then my father was one of those fathers where nothing that I did was ever good enough. Nothing was ever going to amount to anything. Every time I did accomplish something, like I went to semi-state in basketball, and his response was, "I won state." You know what I mean? Like the only place that I ended up like outdoing him where he couldn't say shit was like, right? And when I got pinned staff sergeant, like he didn't talk to me for a week. You know what I mean? When I got frocked sergeant first class, like I got fired. Like it was crazy. Like it was just like he always had to one up me. From 9 years old until 19, I had a permanent bruise like this on my chest, where right here where he used to poke me. He never hit me with a closed hand or a fist or anything like that, but he used to just poke me, and you worthless, blah 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 blah, right? And then it turned into, I came back from AIT, as a medic, and I came back from AIT, and he went to go poke me in the chest one day, and I snatched his finger out of the air. We're not going to do that anymore, because I came back from AIT after 4 months in Texas, and I didn't have a bruise.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not normal. Wait a minute, why is that not normal that I don't have a bruise? You know what I mean? So I wrote this song it's about my dad, it's about my mom, about my birth mom, because my adopted mother was a saint.
Yeah.
And it's about my dad, it's about my mom, and it's about the man that I hope to be. As a father, as a man, all of it. It's called No Dad of Mine. My father told me, never give up, son. Give it all you got. Take a shot and run. Life won't be easy if you wanna be the one. Keep your head down and keep on running for that finish line. But that was just a dream. That was no dad of mine. Nothing that I did was good enough, and it wouldn't make the time. I did the best that I could, and he made it feel like a crime. My mama told me I was a favorite son.
I could do no wrong. Life was full of fun. Girls will be lining up and you'll be the one. Keep your head down and keep on running for that finish line. But that was just a dream. That was no mama mine. Nothing that I did was good enough, and she wouldn't make the time. I did the best that I could, and she made it feel like a crime. I told my children, never give up. You only get one chance at life, so give it all you got. I'll be here if you fall to dust you off. Get a steady stance and take aim and give it your best shot. And I dreamt my kids would say, I love that dad of mine. Everything we did was good enough, and he always made the time. We did the best that we could, and he made it feel alright. But the truth of the story is, I'm not the perfect dad. I did the best that I could to give them all I had.
Wow. That's definitely again another one. It's like
What's crazy is it's the only one that it's not the only one. Let me take it back. The first one that I've done post-military that wasn't military focused, and it seems to get the most reaction from my veterans and my fellow veterans. You know what I mean? It's just where they're just like feel the same way.
Yeah.
Like, we all have such that similar story that even pre-military, like came from broken home. You know, and I tell my son, I talk a lot because he was really close to my dad, my mom, and all that. It's like, I'm not trying to badmouth everybody, but it's just like we're broken people hoping to raise someone less broken than themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, we're hoping that every generation is less and less broken than what we are. You know what I mean? And it's just like this is how I dealt with that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely, and I get, I came from a broken home, and that hit me, and that's absolutely, speaks very loud to me. So, again, that was an amazing song, but we're gonna definitely end it here tonight.
All right, buddy.
We'll definitely chat up some more, and definitely see what else we can get out there. But again, I appreciate it for you coming on with us, Malachi. I really do. I know the viewers here definitely will have to check out a lot of your stuff, and everybody, please definitely take him up on his whole website. The link, we're going to put that down below. Take care of them, support them. This is what it is about veterans communities. We always definitely take care of our own, and this is one way to give back. Don't just give it out to the free streaming stuff. Feel free to use it, but definitely go and check it out. It's going to be down below for the link. To definitely hand that out, and definitely look forward to meeting with you sometime in the near future. Hopefully.
Yes, sir. And we've got a whole new album coming out this year called Fire on the Inside.
Perfect.
And Christian hard rock / metal album.
Wow. I you know what? I'm going to tell my brother, because he stayed into the whole church scene. I still have. I unfortunately I got a mouth that I got to watch.
Same here.
It's just what it is. But again,
if you listen to bands like Skillet and Red and Pillar and Trap, or not Trap, but 1,000 Foot Crutch and Decipher Down, like That's where I'm at musically. So.
Yeah. Well.
7-day slumber.
it's where it's at. But again, all of our viewers, please definitely check it out. Help and support this guy. Absolutely amazing artist and veteran here, and definitely again appreciate it, Malachi. And we will we'll have Beavis and Butthead take it over and tell us what they think about this episode for us.
That'll work.
See you later.
Yeah. Shut up. You suck. Stop. In the name of all that which does not suck.
Thanks for watching Fubar Studios Veteran Reinforcement. Please make sure to check out the Fubar Studios on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and visit the website at fubarstudio.com. Fubar Studios is a Code Sinister One production.